Hey everybody, Weem here. Welcome to Retro Pixel Castles. This game has been sitting in my wishlist for quite some time. I would say maybe a few months at this point. It was actually released last year in October, and I thought, you know what, I gotta check that game out, and never got around to it. But I actually got home today, jumped on, and said, you know what, let's get this thing. Let's try it out. So I have bought it, installed it, and played it a little bit just to kind of get used to some things. But we're gonna dive right in here and get a game going. But first I want to give you a little bit of a description here. We are essentially building like a town or a village here with different buildings and everything. We have our people. We're going to be trying to survive. The game is inspired, as they say, by games like Towns, Gnomoria, Banished, and Dwarf Fortress. And they say that it's kind of it has elements of survival and roguelike elements to it. Elements of elements. You get the idea. So we're going to be building villages, or building a village, trying to increase our population and survive. So let's go ahead and jump in here. Okay, so here you can see we've got a list of maps. I've got Bark selected here, and you can see all the way down here Survival Island has a dot here. I actually have my save. This is the game I played when I was learning. I really didn't get very far. Got a couple buildings down just to kind of get used to things. But in this case, we're actually going to select Leaf here and get started. Okay, the first thing we need to do is put down our village center. I'm actually going to zoom out a little bit and pan around the map. I want to have a nice combination of stone and forest nearby. Now there are some structures kind of sprinkled around here, and if we kind of set up close enough to them, we can take them over. In fact, this looks like a good spot here because we have some tents down already. So we've already got some homes established. Let's go ahead and put our town center here, and we're going to go ahead and select it. Now I'm going to quickly jump in here and just add people. In one of the videos I saw they did 15. I don't know why they stopped there. If I click here, it goes to 23. I'm not really sure why that is, but we're going to queue up 23 people to get things started and get them some tasks going. So basically we have some very basic controls here. We can look at the buildings we've got. We can look at our population. I'm just going to quickly kind of skim through these various statuses. We don't have homes for these people. Let's see. Constanza has this ring that means that they are married, I believe, and they're all level 1 right now. The left side, we have different orders we can give them. Work, gathering wood, stone, things like that, crystals. And once we have this thing finished, we can have some things. We can choose some of the buildings to be built. I think this becomes available when the town center is finished, but I'm not entirely sure that. I didn't try clicking kind of before that was done. So let's see. Let's pan out here. We've got our people here kind of wandering over. I think that's the case. They make their way from down in that corner. So let's go ahead and get some work going. We do have a select 4, meaning that we have a brush size of that, and you can increase this to, I think it goes up pretty far. But we're going to keep this small because, as they say, if you select a large number of woods, for example, they're going to want to gather all of that they can first before they move on to something else. So we're going to go ahead and do little bits here, something like that. And you can see these dots. The dots are an indication of what's going to be done. So green is somebody's assigned to that. Yellow is nobody's assigned, but it is accessible. And red is just not accessible yet. So we're going to get people wandering up here. Here they come. Coming into view, and they're going to start getting to work. Now, one of the first things we want to focus on, based on the tutorial anyway, that they link to online, is getting a farm built. So we want to be able to get the farm going, but we're going to have to wait until, again, I believe we wait until this is done. That's when this is available. So anyway, we're going to let these guys go, gather up this material. We're going to be getting some wood, some stone to get things started. Down here you can see that we've got the different bits that are needing to be done here. We have 0 of 16 and 3 of the 16 here. And basically what this means is, for example, we have 4 stone. 4 is in there, and then those 4 need to kind of be hammered in. You can imagine it that way, and it will tick this down by 4. It's kind of a odd or different, I suppose, way of looking at it. It actually seems familiar, like I may have seen that somewhere, but I don't recall. So anyway, that's what's going on. We got 1 wood in there, so somebody needs to hammer that in. Maybe I'm thinking Banished. Could be something along those lines. So anyway, they're going to crank away at this. Like I said, you can see them bringing in the stone and the wood and everything. We do have crystals here. The tutorial said that there wasn't a purpose to these just yet, but the tutorial is from last year. So I'm not quite sure. I know we have buildings that can work with crystals, but I have not tried them yet. So one of the other things we're going to have to kind of keep an eye on, not only what these guys are doing, the stuff that they're working on, but there are skeletons and zombies around. So this game is a survival game. It does have a peaceful mode right now that says the difficulty doesn't change from day one, doesn't ramp up. But we are playing on survival, so we will be attacked and things are going to get ramp up as we go. Now, having said that, this will be a pretty brief video. I just wanted to give you guys an introduction to the game, kind of show you what it looks like, explain to you a bit about what it is, so you guys can have an idea whether this is something that you would be interested in or not. So we aren't going to have probably a large-scale town or anything like that, unless I ended up doing a longer series, but that is currently not the plan. So we're going to let these guys go, gather up materials, and I think next up we're going to get a farm going once we've got enough things happening here. Okay, we have the town center finished, and as soon as that happened, the build opened up here. So we're going to go jump into farming, and we've got a couple, but we're going to go with a small farm here. And get this guy down. Let's see. I think this ought to work. So let's go ahead and select that. So you can see that we need 24 of the wood in here in order to get this finished. So they're going to continue to gather things and bring them in before they start working on this. At least that's the impression that I'm getting. I'm pretty sure that's what's happening. Now we do have some of the buildings that you go to take over are damaged and need to be repaired. So that looks like they are moving on from what they were mining and chopping and started to work on this as kind of their next task. I could go in here and select some more stone and everything, but I really want to get the farm going. So I want to make sure that I'm not keeping everybody occupied with other things. Now, having said that, as far as I know, the way this would work is they would kind of finish building these and then go to the farm before moving on to something else. But I kind of want to just see how that goes. Okay, so they finished up the tent down here, and as soon as this one needed 2 more and 2 people were walking over the wood, other people started working on the farm. So they knew they had nothing they could do over there. So we got this going. You can see we need 19 more to kind of hammering this out. We have a cloud passing overhead. Thought it was actually getting darker, but not just yet. So we have 4 homes, 4 tents anyway. That's cool. We probably are going to need some more of that, but I'm kind of debating whether I want another farm first or more homes. I think that they're okay right now. The homes kind of keep them happy, and when they're happy, they'll pair up and reproduce, and so you get kind of increase your population. You want to keep them happy so that they are effective in at least that way. I don't know if it has anything to do with how efficient they are with gathering materials or anything, but there are levels, and they do level up, and I think it at least plays into that as well. Again, I'm not entirely sure, still learning the game, but we're gonna keep going here. I think next on the agenda may be another home or 2. Okay, so one of the things I forgot to do was that I've got everybody right now assigned to the village center. So the 23 that I had initially put out are all here. So I'm actually going to reduce this by 4. 2, 3, 4. Now we can switch over here to the farm and increase this by 4. So now we got 4 people assigned to the farm. I was like, how come they're not over here working? That would be why. So they're going to go ahead and get that going. I do have some food set together, which just now have become kind of green lit. So they're going to get going on that. And there's been enough tasks going on that the stonework has been kind of put on hold for now. But I think we should be getting back to that pretty soon. We've got the tents made all but this one still left to go. That is still going to leave some people without homes. You'll see every once in a while a little hut will float up with an X over their head, meaning they do not have a home, unfortunately. But I think we're still in pretty decent shape. Probably throw another 10 or 2 down and the next farm here pretty soon. Well, I think I started to take you away from the action. We certainly have a problem going on here. As I zoom in, we had kind of a bit of a bloodbath going on here. You can see Athalia, the zombie. So we had kind of a zombie incursion here. That was no good. That was no good. Let's go ahead and bring the people up here. I don't recall if you actually see the people that are dead, if they list them anymore. I have a feeling they don't. Let's go ahead and select here because I haven't looked at the numbers. 19, so that's 4 down, and this still says 4, so maybe we didn't lose anyone. That would be great. Maybe these were all Zombie, zombie, zombie. Yeah, so we may not have lost anyone, which is great. Very fortunate. Okay, we just completed a stone shack. Got that set up here. So if we look at the stone shack, you can see it says a small starter building to harvest, store, and refine rock. So we now have that finished, which is excellent. And you can see that while we do have some wood selected here, we don't really have any stone going. So I'm probably going to want to get to that as I see a skeleton running around over here. Chasing her, let's see. Should be able to... Oh no, you might lose this one. It's no good. Now we can't individually select people and have them do anything. Looks like Baraka's running over here. There you go. Hey, give me some help. Help me out over here. This skeleton's crazy. Getting chopped down now. There we go. We do have a zombie. Looks like they're going to switch to that. So there you go. More teamwork taking these guys out. But like I said, we do have the stone shack in here, which is great. Let's see. I think I want to do a lumber mill next. Lumber shack. Let's do that. And I think... Can I get this in over here? Looks like I can. There we go. So we're going to get them started on that, get things going. So I had hit a point earlier where people were not wanting to do work, and I thought I'd mention this just in case you guys end up playing this and are kind of wondering. I sometimes have these materials, you know, the wood and the stone selected, and nobody's wanting to do anything. That's because there's nowhere to store it, so they can't really grab it or do anything with it. If you mouse over the numbers up here, you see these three numbers are separated by slashes. The first one is showing how much of these are stored in a building. The second one is how many are on the ground, and the third one is how many are being carried by villagers. So you can see in this case we have the one food being displayed here is being stored in a building somewhere, and that's all we had. But if we had a lot more of that, you might see the number kind of dispersed there. So what happened was they couldn't pick up any stone or any wood. As soon as I put down the stone shack, they then started going after the stone because they could get the stone and use it in crafting the building. Now that I have the shack up, you can see we can actually store a good amount of stone and rock in here. So that's the same kind of the same idea with the lumber mill here. If I actually, or the lumber mill, the lumber shack, you can see that it is used to harvest, store, and refine logs. So that's kind of one of the added benefits of having that, is we can actually store some materials that we couldn't before. It looks like we have a bit of a bloodbath going on here. I am going to look at my numbers again here, people. Let's see, you can see we've got a lot of level 2s here. Still some people left to level up, and maybe this is tied to them not having homes, but that's actually a good sign. You can see that we actually have a lot of people in homes, but I think we need to probably throw down another tent or two at the very least. Let's just go ahead and get this started, and we'll do one more. Yeah, we'll fit that guy in there. And then let's see, we're going to go ahead and start assigning some more materials to be grabbed. A little bit of both, and we'll do the stone right over here. Okay, while everybody is busy for the most part, looks like we have some fighting going on down here. Another zombie. I think we actually lost somebody. Yeah. Wait, no, not her. Yeah, we lost Rand Riffle, the farmer. That's unfortunate. We had a bit of a scuffle going on down there, but I think that'll all sort itself out. I hope so. But anyway, let me show you the population window really quick, because I kind of brought this up before and talked about the ring, for example, being, you know, these were people that were married. You can actually get an overall view of things up here. So I thought I'd run you through that. We have happiness here. You can see the average energy here of each person, the average hunger, and the lower these are, the worse they are. If this gets really low, that's bad. We're starving. We have nobody homeless, which is great. 6 people with mates, 1 unassigned worker. No one is pregnant right now. We do have 4 children, and the total population is 26. So that's a really quick run through of what those numbers are. It's a great way to just kind of hop up in here and see how things are going in general. But I did want to show you guys that. So let's see, we have the lumber shack up as well, which is excellent. So we can actually be kind of gathering a lot more material and not worrying about people freezing up with nothing to use the material on. We have a tent partially made, and we've been having a lot of issues with zombies, but I think one of the next things we want to look into is maybe making a tower. Let's see, storage magic towers. So we could build a firebolt tower, but let's see. What do we have to have? Okay, so we do have a crystal cost on that. But let's go ahead and let's see. Let's put this. Can I? Nah, I can't quite fit it there. Let's go right there with that. So if they come up from these sides, we can at least start getting them. Now we do have to have the crystals, which are up here. So we're going to go ahead and select assign to crystals. Now, from the tutorial I had read, like I said, it was from a year ago, it said that the crystals had no use. So I'm hoping that they actually do, and that was just the case at the time, and that it hadn't been updated. But we'll find out. We're going to see if we can get this guy going once they finish their other tasks. Okay, so I decided to make a small crystallary. You can see that we've got 2 of the 3 slabs. We got this guy walking right up here with a slab. Just dropped it in, so 3 of 3. Once they hammer that out, this will be done. So they basically been bringing rock into here, making it into slabs, bringing it up here, and we will have this thing complete. Now the reason I did this was because I've got crystals selected up here, and nobody wants to get it at all. Nobody wants to do anything with this. So I thought, well, let me put the building down and see if that changes anything. It did just finish. We have to assign people to it, though. Let's go ahead and take some people out of the town center. We'll reduce a few out of here. A few out of here. Actually, no, that's fine. We'll go 5 there. Let's see what we get in here. 4. And there you go. Now we're lit green. Excellent. So I thought they would actually gather that and use it, because we do have a building down here that wants the crystals. So I thought they would do that and bring it here. But maybe they actually need to be refined in this case before they can be used here. So that was my thought in putting the building down. Turns out, looks like that may be the case. Or they'll walk right by it and put it in. I don't know why they couldn't do that before, but that's okay. Once we get the building down, that lit up. So I guess that was a requirement. So we're going to get this tower put together, I think. Actually, I thought he was bringing the crystal. Where'd that go? Where did that go? Still 0 of 8. There we go. 1 of 8. Okay. 2 of 8. Cool. So we're going to get this thing going, and maybe we can see it fire at some of these zombies. Okay, we got the last 2 crystals in there. It looks like this thing is going to be done here in just a second. So they hammer in the last crystal, or whatever they're doing with that. Setting it up. There we go. 0 of 50 energy, it says. So I guess we may have to do a little bit more before we can get this working. And in fact, now that I'm seeing that it says 0 energy here, I've got this very bad feeling. That is not a zombie. That we need a little bit more than that. So if I actually come over here to magic and look at the essence collector, you can see that it says it's a small building that will consume cryolithium. There we go. Cryolithium is fuel, and collect the essence of your enemies and dead comrades. So I don't know if that essence is what gets turned into energy. Looks like it stores this. So I don't know if this gets turned around and then used in this guy, but I'm going to play around with this a little bit more, and maybe keep an eye out for any zombies or anything that come walking by. See if it fires on them, but we may actually have to make one more building to get this to work. Well, as the essence building gets close to being completed, I noticed that we have a bunch of slime over here. I was really focused on some other things, so I didn't even notice them come in, but you can see we're just about done here. Now, I did look at the tower here, and you can see that it says it will consume energy. So I'm assuming that this essence is going to be the energy that it consumes, but I don't know that for sure. So we're going to see, but we are very close to being done. We've already done the 8 crystals that were required in there, so that's all set. Just need one more slab. Who's going to bring a slab over to us? Let's see. Somebody will probably... There we go. Danielle. Bring that slab over here. I need that. Definitely got to finish this thing up. So, let's see. Now, it did say, as far as this guy goes, that it consumed... Let's see. Collect the essence of your enemies and dead comrades. Interesting. Okay, so once this gets hammered out here, we should be done. Let's see. Is he going to do it? Looks like he's working on it. There we go. So that is now done. Okay, we got little dots coming out. There you go. Stuff coming in. Looks like it. I don't see this stacking up, but you can see now it's shooting over here. Look at that. Very cool. That's pretty awesome, actually. I like that. That's really cool. Set this up in an area where a lot of killing is going on. It makes a lot of sense. So, now what are these guys doing? They're even... Oh, are they collecting, like, The bodies, they were carrying something over their head. Interesting. So they're killing the slime. Curious if they're going to pick any of this up. So this essence shot right into there. Interesting. So anyway, there we go. We've got the essence now putting energy into here. Actually, we can see here. Oh, the stores, the Krelithium stores. Gotcha. Cool. We're getting this thing powered up. I'd really like to see it in action. We have a range of 12, it says on here, which I think is going to be the same as this. Let's go ahead and ramp this up to 12 and bring the brush out here if we can. So something like that, somewhere in there. It's not a huge range. We do have a zombie coming up. Bring him over here. Bring him into range. No? Maybe not. We can also switch this to a circle, so maybe it's something more like this. Or actually, you know what? I'm realizing it's probably 12 from the center. Is it something like that? There you go. You can see it firing on him right there. Nice. That did a lot of damage. Very cool. Well, I think that's gonna just about wrap things up for us here today. Like I said at the start, I wanted to just give you guys a quick look at the game, an overall view of what is happening here. We have a lot of zombies going. Whoa, big mess going on here. But anyway, like I said, I just wanted to give you guys a quick look at the game so you guys have an idea of what is going on here and whether or not you guys want to check this out. It's currently on Steam. Been on Steam for, I think, about 8 months, October 2014. It's $9.99 at the time of this video. And if you've played it, or if you pick it up and end up playing it, please do leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of it. I'm quite curious. Other than that, if you enjoyed the video, please do leave a like. I want to thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it, and I will catch you next time.